Hey, fellas, your commissioner here, coming at ya for a little week three of NFL action. Start off as we always do. Of course, the bullshit hogs lost their game against BYU. Had couldn't have scripted a better start. AJ Green has a long run, second or third play of the game for a touchdown. We forced a 3-and-out. Punt return touchdown from Satania. Looked like we were just going to jump down their throats and slaughter them, but wasn't to be. They had a little trick play touchdown and got some of the momentum back on their side. And, we kind of took the momentum back at the end of the half and came out looking strong at the, beginning of the second half. Excuse me. But just couldn't get it done. Had a chance to drive down the field and get a touchdown to tie it up late. Didn't happen. Whatever. We lost 38-31. 2-1. Game we should have won. Game at home. Got to win it. Have to win it. I'm ready to clean house. I've about seen enough. We didn't beat one of the worst teams in Division I football 2 weeks ago, and writing's on the wall. So I'm sure this LSU game is. Well, we'll get to that when we get to it. So, all right, let's go ahead here and get into a recap of last week's games. Start off with the. I know the guys is a dog shit game, as is tradition with the games of the week. What was that sponsor? Does anybody remember? Let's see. Was there not a sponsor? Did I not have a sponsor? Surely not. To have him be projected for 120 from Edwards, good. And back there, I think. Yes, the Doritos Cool Ranch game of the week, of course, between Suave Olave and the Doesn't Contribute Work With Me app. Not only is it the game of the week, it houses the lowest scoring matchup of the week. The only two owners who did not break 100 points this week. And our dog shit, throw up all over themselves, hipster, smoking cigs, like cool hipster. He doesn't do that, but, just wearing tight pants and, Vans. Team of the week. Doesn't contribute. 82.75 points from Craig. Savoy absolutely did not deserve a win. He got it with 96.2 points. These guys suck. Fields, not a good quarterback. Like I just said last week, I believe Erica tried to refute me. What's he done this year? JD sent a stat out in the career stats for Justin Fields in the group me today. And spoiler alert, well, not everybody's seen it, but they're not good. All right? They're not very good. Whether you want to blame the offensive line, you want to blame the coaching. You got the guy, a top 15 wide receiver in the league. He still can't do anything. He can scramble around, make plays. He called out the coaching today. Good for him. But that's not going to get it done as your QB1 if you want to have success. Josh Jacobs somehow, some way, ends up with 11 points despite having -2 yards rushing on the game. Ramondre gets a touchdown to save his game. DK, not great. Brandon Ayuk came back, crashing back down to reality. Is injured, probably won't play this Thursday. Zay was okay. Freiermuth stinks. 1 catch for 2 yards. Dotson, 3 catches for 22 yards. Garbage. I don't know why Craig continues to refuse to play Kyren Williams. I'm sure he won't make that mistake again. And then that'll be the week that Kyren goes, 5 for 40 and a fumble, So, But no, I mean he's gonna be a monster for the carries the whole season. There's literally Ronnie Rivers, Royce Freeman. You kidding me? No. I don't know. Akers surely had. Well, we'll get to Akers. Hodgins got a touchdown. Reed, 2 tutties. I mean, so the bench looked pretty good. I mean, you swap one of those guys out, and he probably wins this game. So you gotta like his running backs going forward with those three: Jacob, Stevenson, and Kyron. It's a pretty salty trio. I mean, Gibson's whatever. The receivers, they're going to be up and down. I mean, Jaden Reed's not going to catch 2 touchdowns every week. And Hodgins, 4 for 48 points without the tutty. It's okay. So he needs Jacoby back to give a little bit more piss in his wide receiver room. And, Freiermuth, though, it's not looking great early for him. That whole Steelers offense is not looking very good. Yikes. Kenny Pickett. Small hands Pickett, So... And Savoy, he's not going to come out unscathed. Outside Mostert basically saved his week. 2 touchdowns, whatever. Mostert, he's just a guy, in my opinion. Pitts is gone from his team. We'll get to that trade when we get to it. Olave had an okay game, kind of got a lucky catch there at the end. Two lucky catches by 2 Ohio State wide receivers where they're batting the ball to themselves to make big plays for their team. But Terry looked a little bit better this week. Diggs, floor game for him, 14 points. Algier came back down to reality. Had to put him in there, obviously, with no Aaron Jones. And ETN did not look good either, so T-Law sucks. So, anyway, Savoy somehow, some way moves to 2-0. Craig falls to 1-1. And, next matchup here, we got Dirty Birds versus Horse Ass. Plunk wins this one 110 to 101. It's gonna round up for both of us. He did lose Nick Chubb in the process. I think I was down like 14 points, something like that, going into Monday night. So basically I needed Shaheed to outscore Chubb by 14 points. Very, very tall task to ask for. Chubb does get hurt. He had 6.5 points before he got hurt. But Shaheed wasn't able to get a long touchdown to kind of get a 20-point game. And that's what I needed. Lamar finally had a good bounce-back game, 27 points from him. Tua shit the bed this week against the tough Patriots. Raheem Mostert stole all the damn touchdowns, so that was frustrating. Tyreek, not a great game, 16 points. Madison, of course, was terrible on Thursday night. Connor looked good. Dubs stinks. And what sucks is, I could have won. If I put in Tutu or I put in Tank, which, to be truthful, I was always planning on playing Dobbs. Shaheed or Tutu is going to, and that wouldn't have made the difference. So, but hey, another wide receiver of mine got put on IR, so that was fun. So 2 of my top 3 wide receivers are on IR with a hamstring. So, but we will persevere. Tua is going to have games like this. He's not an elite option. He's a streamer, really, at best, but a high-end one. So we're just got to ride that wave and hope the Dolphins, have better days ahead. So, and, monster game from Keenan. 31. Really, it was Keenan, James Cook, and Lamar that carried the load for Plunk's team. He got 0 points out of Zay Jones, not much out of Musgrave. Pittman had a solid game. Jamar's not looked good. That whole Bengals offense has looked bad. And then Chubb going on the IR. So Plunk's running back room's a little dicey. It's not little. It's a lot dicey. A-Chain's awful. Tucker. I guess he's got Moss. He's got Zach Moss and James Cook, but how long is the Moss train really going to be performing at a 20-point per game level? My bet's not that much longer. So 100% of the snaps, I think he took Zach Moss, or like 96% of the snaps. So McCaffrey played 100% of the snaps. I think Zach Moss played like 96%. So that's probably not going to continue. Rams, maybe they should trade Akers for JT straight up. Who says no? So, But anyways, yeah, I mean, good for Plunk. He moves to 2-0. I mean, he's the worst 2-0 team in the league. I mean, 110's an okay game, okay week. I was just happy to get to 100 points. Didn't look like it was going to happen for me. But it's long. It's 1-1. Plunk's 2-0. It is what it is. Much better start for him than last season, but I don't think his team is much better, to be honest. I don't think he's a 2-0 team. And I can only hope that his luck runs out soon with the points against. So anyway, next here we got Can You Feel the Love versus the Swamp Donkeys. Really good game from Rip. You got a feel for him. He loses 135 to 128 to fall to 0-2. Blaine moves to 1-1, bouncing back from his season opener loss to last year's runner-up. He did lose Saquon, maybe for a week, maybe for 2 or 3 weeks. That was unfortunate, but he got him 27 points before he went out. Brees was stymied by that dominant Dallas defense. Debo, though, had a good game. Godwin, underwhelming. He's just like a wide receiver 3 flex guy so far this season. Of course, Devontae had a great game. A.J. Dillon filling in as a starter. That's just is what he is, 55 yards. He's just not that guy. He's not that guy, pal. Trust me, he's not that guy. Okay. Hurts did have a very good game, 28 points. So, yeah, I mean, Rip's not got a bad team. He really doesn't. It's going to be tough for him without having Saquon because, you got to assume that AJ might be back, and that's going to – Aaron Jones might be back. That's going to hurt A.J. Dillon's value, But he's got Roschon Johnson. Looks like rumors and reports are that he is going to be the starter before very long. The bad thing is that it's the Bears, and the Bears' offense isn't very good. Eli Mitchell cut. I mean, he is just not sniffing the field with McCaffrey being healthy and active. Gallup and Jameson, and there's not a lot there at the bench. And for Blaine, I mean, like I said, very strong bounce back. Still doesn't have Kamara for another week, but then he should be back, ready to step into a big role. It's got to be only a matter of time till Jaylen Warren takes that role from Najee, but again, that Steelers offense is yeesh. But I mean, Puka, unreal what Puka has done these first 2 weeks. I mean, I'm ready to call the stop the vote before it even starts for best free agent acquisition of the season. If he can even get close to matching this production he's had the first 2 weeks. 30 points from him. Mike Evans had a great game, 30 points. Josh Allen bounced back game, 30 points. Gibbs is starting to come on, 17 yards, but 13 points, mainly from a receiving perspective. It is going to be a little dicey. I guess he's probably going to be forced to throw Jaylen Warren in at the RB2 until Kamara is back. But that RB depth it's non-existent. It is non-existent. You'd like to see him, probably flip one of these wide receivers for another running back. Maybe a Madison for Burkstill. Maybe who says no? Maybe that could work out well for both parties. So anyway, you think about that. You talk to him. Kincaid's fine. You don't need Hawkinson. You don't need a good guy like that, a great elite tight end like that. You don't need that, Blaine. So anyway, yeah, Blaine's 1-1, so you love to see that for him. Next here, we had the father figures versus the cataclysmic catches. Yeah, bounce back, right? Story of bounce back. Week 1, historically low scoring. This week, we had 4 teams over 130 points. We had half the league score over 125 points. So very, very strong bounce back after, a third of the league or a quarter of the league was under 100 points last week. So we're right there at it. So, Ford wins 140 to 115. Not a bad week from Wilson, 115. I mean, that's you're going to luck into a win, or that just is right on the edge of deserving a win most weeks. Of course, he had a good bounce back game from Mahomes. I mean, Swift, career day for Swift. Love to see if he can match that performance again. He won't. But Khalil's looking like he's on his way out the door, maybe, as far as production, being able to rely on him. But, Devontae had a good bounce-back game. Hopkins is just a guy in that dog shit Titans offense. Kendrick Bourne is Kendrick Bourne, right? I mean, he's going to have games where he catches 2 touchdowns. He's going to have games where he gets 7 points like this. So, but solid game from Ingram. Justice Hill's fine. Thielen, he pinched Thielen this week and gets 20 points on Monday night. Bryce Young's short. His team might not be the worst now in the league after injuries and stuff has happened, but still not very good. I would say still not very good. Ford, congrats, buddy. Jordan Love had 3 touchdowns. He had 150 yards passing, but 3 touchdowns really looks nice, right? He is not a good quarterback. Regression is coming for his ass big time. Big time. Jordan Love is not the answer for you at quarterback, Ford, for the rest of the season. I can promise you that. You won't have a good time. But Bijan, he's the truth. No touchdowns, 21 points. Just insane what he's a beast. He's the next guy. He's the next Christian McCaffrey. He's the next LaDainian Tomlinson. This guy's the truth, So, okay game from Mixon. Hollywood got a tutty. That was big for him. And Jigbus, Pickens finally had a good bounce back game, being the guy. Waller was solid. Kenny Walker, 43 yards, but 2 touchdowns certainly helps out with the box score. I thought it was confirmed that Amari Cooper wasn't going to play. He did and had a pretty nice game. That's another guy, though. Solid all-around pieces, but I don't know if it's just not – it's not a lot. Other than Bijan, of course, just I don't see that pop, yes, like this guy, yep, give it to me, yep. But we'll see. Van Jefferson, he was a wide receiver 1, supposed to be, and he's been absolutely cucked by a 5th-round rookie and a guy who's like 5'8", 5'9", and Tutu Atwell. So you hate to see that. You just hate to see that. But anyway, Ford will take the win, 1-1. Wilson drops to 0-2. Next here, we got Shade Dynasty, the self-proclaimed number 1 team in the league, 134 to 125. Again, you got to feel for Duncan. 125 certainly deserves a win in any given week. So you'd rather see Duncan play Savoy and Rip play Craig, and they both get wins. But unfortunately, that's not the way fantasy works. So but honestly, I got to give it to D Shade. His team looks really good. It looks really good. Right now, I would say, God, oh no. Oh, no. Cam Akers got traded to the Vikings.
Goddamn.
Fuck.
Your laptop died.
No. I said this was the worst case scenario for my team. I said it multiple times. And it's just perfect that it happened during Soto and then you get live reaction. So that's great. Oh, well, I wish I wasn't so busy today so I could have shipped Madison off to Nick before this happened. Wow. A swap of 26 picks. 26 picks. That's sick. That's sick. Great. Now both of these guys are dead. They're both just dead. So that's awesome. So I've got 2 running backs now on my team. That's great, basically. Okay, recalibrate here. Yeah, D-Shade, his team, it's really good. McCaffrey looks amazing. Geno Smith had a good bounce-back game. Pollard's looked great. Ridley came back down a little bit, but Mike Williams good. Mike Thomas good. Kelsey's back. Addison's looked good. Bench, that's where you get concerned, right? That's where I get concerned on the bench is Sky Moore had a nice game. It's not going to happen very often. Jeez. Yeah, JD, what the fuck? You called it? No, you didn't. I called it multiple times. What are you talking about? Possibly I can see the Vikings trading for Akers. Nah, come on. You heard it here first. You're from the commish. It couldn't be anything else. It literally couldn't be anything else. So, let me see. I gotta find this. So let's see, man. Yeah, me if Akers gets traded to the Vikings. Yeah, possibly I can see. Yeah. It was written in the stars. So whatever. Yeah, JD, whatever you call it. It's obvious, JD. It's obvious. I'll play the audio just for I don't want to have to edit this and loop it in.
You're gonna find me dead! I'm gonna kill myself! I'm gonna be hanging from the bathroom! Don't ask me to do nothing!
This is nothing.
Nothing! I'm gonna kill myself!
Yeah. All right, yeah. So whatever. D-Shade's great. He's got a great team. So that's sick. That's sick for him. I'm happy for him. So, I mean, where else was he gonna go, right? Where else was Akers gonna go? I mean, the Browns signed Kareem Hunt. The Ravens brought in Kenyon Drake. Where else is he gonna go? The Colts maybe, but I mean, JT's gonna be back in a couple weeks. He's gonna play. So whatever. It is what it is. You don't wish injuries on anybody. I'm not gonna say it. You know what I want to say. You guys know what I want to say. You guys know what I'm thinking up here in these sick thoughts that I have. So whatever. So yeah, Kenny G, please get back healthy, please. And Swift, go fall in a hole. All right, not get injured, just fall in a hole and get lost, get stuck there for a while. Okay. So yeah, I mean, again, D-Shade's bench, it's very, very dicey. And he has some very, very injury-prone players on his team. Basically, his whole trio of wide receivers, Ridley, Mike Williams, Mike Thomas, have all they've all had their significant injury histories in the past. Kelsey's already been banged up early. McCaffrey, of course, so he's one or two injuries away from being horse ass, just as well as he's no injuries away from maybe winning a title and going back to championship games. So, and for Duncan, Watson's not good either. That whole Browns offense stinks. Brian Robinson does look very legit. Pacheco's hurt though, got a hammy. Najee stinks. Lockett finally 2 tutties. It's not going to happen every game, right? Sutton's look solid though. Christian Kirk, great game on the bench. Eckler's banged up. So his running back room's it's a little bit of shambles right now. And I still don't love his wide receivers, but Kittle, he looks like he should have fallen on the draft early on, but he had a slow start last season as well. So quarterback, right? It's quarterback with these teams that keep them from at least being mediocre. So I don't know. What do you do at quarterback there? I hope that Watson figures it out, I guess. So anyway, D-Shade's 2-0. Duncan falls to 1-1. And then our last game here, the McCaukeners versus Razorback Revival. Good, strong bounce back game from JD. 50 points last week, 131 points this week. Burrow didn't look good. He's banged up, 20 points. Miles Sanders not very good. Rashad White's not good. He got 20 points somehow, some way. CD's a freak. I mean, he's legitimate top 5 wide receiver in the league. T. Higgins, 2 touchdowns. DJ Moore did look solid as well. But outside of those guys, I mean, his running back room, it's not good. It really isn't. I mean, Pierce has not looked very good this year at all compared to his rookie year. He does have Ford. Again, we'll see how much that, that Chubb Hunt signing. And Hunter Henry's he's tied in too on the season so far. You want to keep rolling with Njoku. He's going to play Hunter Henry this week, and Hunter Henry's probably not going to have a very good game. But and you got to feel for Nick, right? I mean, he starts Darnell Mooney because he has to. Because I guess he doesn't have to. I mean, he could have started KJ, could have started Robert Woods. Probably would have started Robert Woods, to be honest, especially after that week 1. It seems like he's a favorite target of CJ. But Eli Moore, the Browns offense, poop. Garrett Wilson saved his day with a touchdown and a long catch. Otherwise not great. It was a long catch this week, right? Well, the first week 1 was when he bobbled it to himself. But Montgomery's hurt. Derrick Henry's questionable. Jalen Waddle's questionable. Darnell Mooney's questionable. Anthony Richardson concussion protocol, but he's not going to start Rich over Herbert anyway. Herbert was basically the lone bright spot on his team, and Mark Andrews coming back looked good as well. 110 from Nick is solid, right? It's solid. He needs to make a move, and let's talk about that move right now. Why don't we segue into trades and pickups for this week? So the big first trade of the year, Suave Olave sends Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence, Christian Watson, and Kyle Pitts to Razorback Revival. Razorback Revival sends Justin Herbert, Mark Andrews, and Gus Edwards to Savoy. These trades, this looks very reminiscent of my season last year. Granted, I didn't have the 0-2 start that Nick did. But it's tough to give away two of your best players, really, in Herbert and Andrews, especially at positions like that. I guess, you feel like if Andrews can be that elite option, it's just so hard to replace that on the waiver wire or with Pitts, who's not a very good player because they don't throw the ball in Atlanta. And he's basically banking on upside. He's banking on upside. He's banking on bounce backs that Pitts is going to figure it out, that Watson's going to get healthy and be a dominant wide receiver 1 with a bad quarterback. That ETN in the Jags offense in general is gonna bounce back and figure things out. But I mean, Kansas City shut them down. Kansas City defense is not like that's super elite. They got torched by the Lions. I mean, right? The Lions have a good offense, I guess, but you would think that the Jags should have at least as on par of a defense as the Lions, right? And look what the Lions did. Look what the Jags did. At home, right? Jags were at home, I believe. So, I don't know. He's trying to churn the roster a little bit. We'll see if it works out. On paper, I don't know. Savoy, I guess, I like that he's getting 2 good players. So, and a starting running back and Gus Edwards. So, yeah, it is what it is. Not much to say there. Pickups, obviously. The big pickup, Kirk Cousins, Captain Kirk. 37 fab. Next closest bid was, scroll down the list, $13. At $8 bidding on him as well. But hey, number 1 quarterback on the season. JD's compiling all these guys. Hunter Henry's got Kirk Cousins now. You also had the second big pickup there was Kareem Hunt, 34 to rip. Just needs some kind of productions from somebody with a pulse, right? Just like he said. Close, just barely beat out Plunk for 31 on him. Savoy was in for 19. Of course, Kareem loves him some Kareem. Who else was in on him? McCockners for 8. Yeah, I think that was it. Burita, 34 for Burita. Might be a 1-week starter, but hey, some of these guys need that. So, Rip was in for 21 on Burrito as well, and Plunk was in for 9. Who else? Yeah, that was it, I think. Those are the big 3. I mean, almost over $100 worth of fab dropped on those 3 players right there. Pretty crazy. Devontae Parker went for 21. You're going to love that, Savoy. Let's see what the next closest bid was. $6. Who else we got? Craig Reynolds. He might fall into the end zone. I kind of think it's going to be Bam Knight, maybe, because I think Bam Knight's a far superior guy to Craig Reynolds. They just like Craig. Dan just likes keeping Craig around because he's a good guy, right? He's a good grit guy, but he's not really a good football player. So 14 seems a little bit high for me, for him. It's going to be the Gibbs and the Bam. Thunder and Lightning, I think, there. Let's see, who else? JD had a safety bid of Russell Wilson for 7, as if 37 wasn't going to be enough for Captain Kirk. Gotta love that contingency plan. Hey, I'm one to talk. Plunk did pick up Zach Ertz, trying to chase that tight end dragon for 6 fab. I mean, he certainly had a very good start to the season early on. Craig got Matthew Stafford for 3 fab. McCockner's got Josh Downs for 3 fab. Razorback Revival, Dolchich for a fab. He's a big Dolchich guy. Doesn't have working hamstrings, but injured reserve. I draft and stash guy. Pick up and stash guy, I guess. He just might not be very good. And then Ty Chandler for $1 for Plunk, and he's going to be cut now immediately. So, anyways, let's go ahead here, get into a preview of this week's matchups. Game of the week. We don't have any 2-0 teams playing each other, unfortunately. He was just in it. He's been in it. Yeah, we'll go with that one. We'll start off here with the McCockners versus Horse Ass. I'm projected to win 125 to 117. Really, I need a strong bounce-back game here. Yet again, another player, wide receiver especially, going against me on Monday night. Love that. I might have one of my own going. So I think it's another Monday night doubleheader, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. But I feel like we had back-to-back Monday night doubleheaders, weeks 2 and weeks 3. The Chargers, Kirk Cousins, I think it's a great pickup, especially for this week. Should feast against the Chargers. I mean, they got torched by Tua in week 1. I don't know who they played. Who did they play? They played the Titans last week. Yeah, they lost. Tannehill didn't have a good game, but Tannehill's a wide receiver role-playing as a quarterback. Some tougher matchups, though, for his running backs. Tough matchups in general, I think, for a lot of his key skill players. I just got to hope for a bounce-back week from him, and hopefully JD comes back down to reality. He's not a 50-point bad team. He's not a 130-point good team, I don't think. I think he's somewhere in that 100-point, 110-point range, personally, for me, as things stand. T. Higgins, Joe Burrow being playing and not playing is going to be big for that. Big. So, because I don't even know who their backup is now. They got rid of Brandon Allen. So, I'll go with myself in that one. I think we have a bounce back game. I think the team's good. It just had a little bit of bad luck last week. Seems really small. Seems like a really small file. Anyway, next here, the Swamp Donkeys and Kickers Lives Matter. Blaine is projected to win 122 to 105. Currently, though, Duncan has Eckler in there. Eckler's not projected to score any points. I don't think he's going to play this week, probably again. And Pacheco might not play either. The hammy, we'll see. Might be forced to play Najee Harris. Might not have any other choice. Amon-Ra St. Brown looks a little banged up. I feel like he's a Warrior, though. He's probably going to play. Yes, there is 2 Monday night games this week as well. Again, how about that? Oh gosh, yeah. I'll probably go with Blaine in that one. I'm just never. I don't know. Duncan always seems to have a decent team. I just never really believe in him. Unfortunately. Sorry, Duncan. I love you, buddy, but I don't know. Next here, doesn't contribute versus Cataclysmic Catches. Yucky matchup, 113 to 103. Ayuk's probably not going to play. I don't know what DK Metcalf has, but he's questionable right now. Craig's finally going to start Kyren Williams, so I hope that works out. Justice Hill looks a little banged up, so 0 points projection for him right now. Probably throw Thielen in there or something like that. We'll go with Craig. Yeah, we'll go with Craig. Father Figures, Suave Lave. Next one, moving on. Rapid fire here. Savoy is projected to win 123 to 118. I think it should be a good one. I don't think Savoy deserves to be 2-0. Ford had a very strong week last week. Let's see if he can recapture that magic. It's really going to hinge on is Aaron Jones going to play, right? But he does have Gus Bus there. He could throw in. Probably should throw in. Herbert reloaded, fully reloaded. It's looking good. Now that I look at this team with all the trades, I actually really like this team. Except the running backs. I still don't like the running backs. But we're gonna go with Savoy in that one. I think week 2 might have been an outlier for Ford. Actually, now that I think about it, so we'll go with Savoy and move to 3-0. Penultimate matchup: Can You Feel the Love versus Shade Dynasty. Rip desperate for a win. It's tough whenever you're playing the best team in the league to come up against that. Even though I think I'm the number 1 scoring team in the league as it stands right now, but who's counting? It's early, right? Shade's projected to win 132 to 108. Yikes. Yeah, until Rip can show me. He did show me something last week. 127 is a good total. It's a good, strong total. But until D-Shade proves me wrong, I'll keep rocking with him. I'll go with D-Shade in that one. All right, so that brings us to our game of the week. The Concord Foods Lemon Juice game of the week from Concentrate. This is you're supposed to refrigerate this after opening. Whoops. So if I die after drinking this, and please, the league goes to Nick. It says open lid, puncture small hole in top, refrigerate after opening. 3 tablespoons of lemon juice equals the juice of 1 medium lemon, apparently. Let's see, there's about 4.5 fluid ounces in here. I don't know what that is to tablespoons. But, it's lemon juice, sodium, so basically salt. It's from USA, Argentina, South Africa, and Mexico. So interesting. Lemons from all over the world. 0 calories, 0 whatever. Bought this to try wedding concoctions, wedding drinks, signature drinks. So anyway, lemon juice, the official Concord Foods lemon juice, the official lemon juice of the Bring That Wood League. Cheers. That is very bitter. I don't really like sour stuff. I said it's supposed to be refrigerated. Maybe that is going against me. I'll probably just throw this away after this. So anyway, Razorback Revival, 30 Birds Award. 2 former champions, 2 former greats that are, one's 2-0 by hook or by crook, somehow, some way. One's 0-2. 2 solid performances, nothing sexy, nothing to really break through, but certainly he's not had a very much luck in the points against category through 2 weeks. Battle of the quarterback, you got newly instated Trevor Lawrence versus Houston, which, just that Houston defense just made Gardner Minshew look like legit, like a QB1. And versus Lamar Jackson. Stroud did pick apart that Indianapolis defense. He's looking better and better every week. So we're going to go with Lamar on that one. It's not really quite close. Battle of the running backs. You got Derrick Henry, Travis Etienne versus James Cook and Zach Moss. Oof, buddy. Two guys, two former teammates from last year. Both used to be Buffalo Bills. I don't know. I mean, Washington, the Commanders' D-line is legit. Their front seven is legit. They can stifle some run game for sure. I think Baltimore can do the same. So I'm going to have to give the slight edge there to Nick in the running back room, especially if Henry plays. I'm sure he will. He's always questionable, I feel like. Receiver, boy, on paper, this looks like a bloodbath, and it probably will be. Garrett Wilson, Eli Moore, Robert Woods versus Jamar Chase, Keenan Allen, Michael Pittman. Yeah, there's just not really a whole lot to say about this one. We'll go with Plunk in that. Tight ends, you got Zach Ertz, Kyle Pitts. Gross, push, I don't care. And then battle of the flex, you got Jalen Waddle, is he in concussion protocol as well? Yeah, he is. Okay. Scary. I feel like it's tough for a guy to get back and not miss at least one game with concussion in today's NFL. And if he doesn't play, he's stuck putting in the likes of, I guess, Christian Watson might play, maybe Kendre Miller, maybe Samaje Perine. We'll go with Plunk and Drake London. Why not? Even though they don't throw the ball in Atlanta. So, ultimately, though, I think the wide receiver and the quarterback's how you win in this league. And I think that Plunk, despite him, I don't think he's that good to be 2-0, but I think that's enough. I think he does move to 3-0, drops Nick to 0-3. So, anyway, Hogs are playing LSU in LSU at night. Going to be a bloodbath. We'll lose by 4 touchdowns minimum. I really believe that. I think Jaden Daniels is going to run all over us. I think he's going to throw. Him and Malik Neighbors are going to just be dancing all night. With these long bombs that they're going to get on us. Harold Perkins is going to have probably 10 sacks, probably break KJ in half. So, it's great. It's good times. Great times. So, anyway, that's all I got this week, fellas. Good luck. Everybody be safe out there. And as always, whoop pig.